Hey guys, David Hughes with Theater Advice. Welcome back to my channel, as they say in the YouTube world. Today we're going to be talking about KLH, and you know, when KLH approached me, I was kind of like, yeah, I've seen it around. It's like vintage stuff. I didn't have a lot of interest in it, and he was like, let me bring by some stuff, and I was already going to be here, so I let him come by. I've literally been called a speaker recently by vendors because I carry a lot of speakers, and I have to be honest with you. The reason I carry a lot of speakers and a lot of other companies don't, and I don't want to disparage them, but it's factual, is that they'll just carry the speakers that pay them the most. They get rebates on, that kind of thing, and so they push those couple brands that they sell. And you know, I sell like 50 brands of speakers, and I probably have 15 or so in here, which is a big deal. So a lot of speaker manufacturers, they come in, they kind of like, ah, you're already loaded, you know. So when I look for a speaker brand that I'm going to take on, actually sell, like KLH, I'm going to sell now, I have to see where they fit in my line financially first. You know, do you have stuff that actually makes sense for what we do as a company, and things like that? And so, you know, he first brings in the fives. I'm going to go through each segment, and we'll probably do little breaks and cuts as we set different things up if we need to, like the in ceilings and stuff. I'm not going to play them because I keep getting copyright stuff, and I don't really care about monetizing. I don't make enough money on YouTube to even care. So, but you're never going to know what these speakers sound like. They're your computer speakers or your phone speakers anyway that you're listening to this video on. So, quite frankly, all wasteful. But we're going to start small and kind of go through the line and what they have to offer, because I'm really, really excited about both what I heard and have seen from the company. So KLH, if you don't know, is a 1957 company, and they kind of, you know, have come in and out of popularity. I'm assuming from how these look and how they've always looked, that was popular at one point. They're bringing that back, but just like all the kids' clothing looks like my stuff from the 1980s, things come back into style. And so they kind of, you know, weren't doing things probably properly like most companies do. They kind of got an injection of people from other companies that I can't mention, large speaker manufacturers that are kind of revitalizing the line. And they're engineers and things like that from MIT. So, you know, these are people that actually know what they're talking about when it comes to audio, obviously. And so the first one I'll talk about, and it's mainly price points that excite me. I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of expensive stuff. I've got Sonos Faber Olympica Novas over there at 15 grand. I've got $55,000 Focals behind me. But the price point of these, I've never heard, first of all, sound that comes out of something at this price point. And I've never heard price points like this out of something as well built. So both of those things shock me. We'll start with the threes. So these are called the Model 3s. They come in this flat black, which is super sexy. Doesn't show fingerprints as much as, you know, your typical gloss and things like that. We've got an 8-inch driver and a tweeter, two-way design, obviously, and they sound clean, tight, precise. They're very, very musical. They're powerful. They're not efficient, so you do need to throw an amplifier at them. But like any other good speakers, you kind of have to throw an amplifier at them. I will say these are $1,500 a pair, including the stands. Is that correct? Including the stands. So, you know, we've got, you know, these sitting on a metal stand, mid-century modern design, super sexy. I mean, just the grill is a $150 grill. I mean, they're made of this, you know, gorgeous fabric that kind of has that 1970s throwback feel to them. They're angled up at about a 10, 15 degree angle. They're just a gorgeous speaker. They sound crazy good. You know, for that guy or gal that's got his living room, cool, you know, wood piece of furniture, and they've got, you know, the turntable on top, and they, you know, this kind of stuff, and they have that feel in their living room. These cannot be beat. I mean, there are other speaker manufacturers that make this type of speaker. Sorry, I just got lasered my eyeball. There is, you know, there's other manufacturers that do this, Pioneer and that kind of thing, that have this kind of look and feel and styling and things like that. But for these price levels, I was like, I found myself laughing more than one time today and before, because I know the price of speakers, and they typically cost way more than that to get that kind of value. Then there's a step-up model. We go to a three-way design with a 10-inch. Both of these designs come in the flat black, the English walnut, and the Madagascar. Yeah, that's true. West African mahogany. They got names to throw at me. I got to remember. So the mahogany's kind of got a lot of red striations in it. Going to match more warm wood tones, red tones, things like that. The walnut is gorgeous. I mean, that looks like any speaker that people would buy back in the 70s. All those big infinity towers, stuff like that. Really cool, nostalgic feel to it, but with a very new sound. I mean, both of these models, all the Model 3s, the 5s, they can be pretty much put right up against the wall. They're not going to introduce the wall. They're sealed cabinets, so they're not going to introduce any kind of chuffing from walls, ports. They're not introducing anything extra to the equation. And with larger drivers, you don't need to. So you throw enough power at it, 200 watts per channel on a 10-inch driver, and you're good, right? You don't really need ports at that point. So placement in the room, becomes way less important, and then sometimes people want to buy speakers and they're like, yeah, but I can't get them away from the wall, or I can't put them here. You put these everywhere the hell you want. They're going to sound pretty damn good. So that's something I loved about them. I only heard those the first day, and I was like, well, hell, bring the rest of the stuff here, because if it does that, that's crazy. So then I hear about their theater line that comes out, and these speakers are real wood veneer. They don't look like $1 million, because they're not. They're $999, and I've literally never said something like that before. A $999 speaker is usually some small speaker, or I don't know, any manner of stuff that's out there that sounds okay for $999. I walked in today, this is a true story. I walked in today and he already had them on, and it was at low volume. So what everyone has experienced in AV is that at low volume, you don't get a lot of bass. You never get a ton of bass out of low volume. You usually have to kind of kick it up into that 70%, 60% volume level to start making the speaker come alive, I call it. That happens with a lot of speakers. This is triple ported, but I didn't hear any messy sounds. It was a clean, precise, but low bass note. I mean, it filled the room with bass from a floor standing speaker that costs $1,000 each. It's got sexy feet that you'd see on any super expensive speaker out there. I mean, the thing is just a solid badass. And the funny thing about it is it comes with a center channel. So, we're not just in the 2-channel world here. They're working on, I think, a center channel that goes with the models. So if you like the Model 3 and 5 look, you can actually get a center channel to match that in the future. I think they're working on something like that, which is pretty cool. But if you want to do their theater line, this speaker cannot be beat by anything I sell. Any brand I sell does not touch a $999 speaker of this quality. I mean, when you knock on it, I don't even know if you can hear that. But if I go to this other speaker over there that I did the other day from a very, very popular UK brand, it sounds real hollow, and it's a lot more money than this. So, at the end of the day, you can tell that they're putting a ton more product and a ton more quality into this thing, and stuff like that shocks me. Now, look, if the thing was $2,500 and it was a $5,000 pair, even though they did sound like that, I'm going to be honest with you, they sound like a $5,000 pair of speakers. In the $5,000 speaker mark, everyone knows in home theater, that is convoluted. That is a very convoluted price level to hit. Everybody has kind of your pretty awesome $5,000 pair of speakers, but in a $2,000 price range, you're competing with very little that's any good. There's speakers out there, but they're not like this. Dual 6.5, full 3-way design, tweet mid-range. The thing sounded easily as good as $5,000 speakers I've had in here. I was shocked. Center channel, full 3-way, right? Mid-range in the center channel, yeah. Full 3-way. Center channel, which is crazy for a center channel. Dual 6.5s. It's literally this speaker, but smaller put on its side. Ported, so you're getting that bass note out of the voice. And again, $1,000. So basically they made a bookshelf or a smaller version of the floor standing model. And it's all completely matched then because it's almost 3 exact speakers. I'm gonna sell the living hell out of these speakers because we sell a lot of floor standing speakers here. Sometimes people have a budget, and then as a designer, you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to sacrifice some stuff, and you feel bad about it. But I don't have to feel bad about selling these. So KLH has been knocking it out of the park. This whole lineup here is crazy cool. I love the way these look. I like that vintage kind of stuff. I grew up, with a dad with a record player that I used to go in there and clean the records with the felt, the felt handle and the spray. I probably did it way too many times because I was a kid and I like messing around with everything. But you know, it kind of brings me back to that stuff that my dad used to have, and I really love it. So we'll cut now, and then we'll come back in a second and talk about the in-wall and in-ceiling, because a lot of these kind of speaker companies, they don't have the rest of the stuff. You know, there's other brands that, you know, they sell the floor standing, the center channel, and the subs, and then they're like, get your own rears. And look, I don't care about that. I don't think rears and fronts have to match. I talk about that a lot, and all the audiophiles get all worked up on the internet with the keyboard warriors. When you start, you know who you're talking, you know who you are with this keyboard warriors stuff. But these guys make matching in-walls and in-ceilings, so we're gonna see them. Be right back. And we're back. That probably felt like 1 second for you, but it was longer for me. So the models, I just want to touch on one thing, and then we're going to close with the rep talking about some other stuff that I think he says better than me. But these speakers have a 10-year warranty, so that's another crazy aspect of them. Normal speaker lines we carry a 5, which is you know, pretty common, but they have 10-year warranties across the board, which I think is pretty amazing. I want to touch on the in-walls and in-ceilings because we do a ton of that stuff. We're a home theater company, of course, which is why this stuff excites me from a looks standpoint. I won't sell it as much because I don't get that client as much. It has nothing to do with the fact that I love it, and I do. It's just in the price points, $1,500 a pair, $2,500 a pair. $2,500 a pair. I've never heard a speaker at $2,500 a pair that sounds like that, ever in my whole life. And I've heard 1,000 speakers in my life, so they're just crazy. And I love their price points, but those are crazy price points. So they're in-ceilings and in-walls. I'll start with these in-ceilings. These in-ceilings are a full back-boxed can design. So you've got a full aluminum can, I think. That might be, no, it's aluminum. Full aluminum can. You can attach, they're heavy, so you can attach it, you know, to ceilings. You can, you know, drill a string to wood, you know, that kind of thing. Make sure it doesn't fall out on someone's head. It's got the concentric driver in the center. It's got gain knobs, things like that. Kevlar driver, full 6.5. This thing, it will sound like a bookshelf speaker. It's a bookshelf speaker in your ceiling. $449 each. I mean, it's just stupid levels of quality for the money. It's insane. This is probably their most, ooh, that would have been fun. It's on my weird piece of wood. All right, anyway. This is 27 pounds. You could tell I struggled a little picking it up with one hand because it's freaking crazy. Silk dome tweeter, so same kind of tweeter materials you're gonna find in, you know, Sonus Faber and high-end materials. We've got Kevlar drivers at 27 pounds, 8 dog legs, tuned to its own enclosure, each its own enclosure interior. This thing is a beast, and I would expect a speaker like this that I sell from other brands to cost $2,500 each, and I've sold many things like that. These are $849 a piece. So I mean, you're talking under $3,000 to get full back-boxed LCRs behind a screen. You're getting very, very theater quality for nowhere near what people are paying for high-end audio. So I would give these a listen if any dealers near you have them. We're gonna have them in our wall because I was so shocked at picking it up and just holding it the other day that I didn't even need to hear it before I was figuring out where they could go. So they're going here. And I'll have their full line probably eventually. I'm bringing in their theater stuff first because it's what we do. I'll keep the Model 5s and stuff like that, but these are pretty awesome. So these speakers here also carry the same warranties. Lifetime. Lifetime on the in-walls and in-ceilings. Okay, well, there you go. So even better on that. They have crazy power handling. So the in-wall will handle up to 350 watts peak. These are 175 watts, tuned to 50 hertz. Those are probably tuned to about 40 though, right? The in-walls. Oh, 35. So you know, once they're in a wall, they're gonna dig a little deeper than most in-walls are gonna dig. You can always cross them over with the subs, of course, and stuff like that. Roll your sub down a little bit because they will handle a little more bass, but. You know, at a 6.5-inch driver, totally sealed enclosure, you're not worrying about what's in my wall, what's the wall space, if there's insulation in there, you know, any of that stuff. And I hate non-backboxed in-walls anyways. I think we all know that by now. So, you know, that's a bookshelf. That's a freaking tower speaker in the wall pretty much, and there's your bookshelf in the ceiling. So KLH doing even more to kind of knock things out of the park. And again, when you see it in my showroom, I mean, they don't give me this stuff for free. So when you see it in here, you'll know I really believe in what I'm saying because I hear a lot of stuff at CEDIA and the other shows. I don't necessarily bring it into my showroom and put it in here. And I sell a lot of stuff, but again, it's not here. You know, I can get other brands that start with P, that are large, you know, biggest speaker manufacturers in the world type things. I can sell it. It's just not here. I don't put it in here because I don't care about it that much. But this stuff made me care about it. I'm most excited about these. I'm going to be honest with you. I like this other stuff, but I'm laughing. I told you, a $2,000 a pair theater speaker, stupid. So we're going to cut for a second. I'm going to bring Jeff in here, get him mic'd up so you understand what the hell he's saying, and we will we'll circle back on me closing out, and we'll be good. Thanks.
Thanks, David, for inviting me out. Jeff Dano, KLH, been in the business since 1997, and happy to be part of the Theater Advice family now with KLH since 1957. I wanted to just add a few points. The new series, the Kendall Mark II series, which is a very flexible, both for music and theater, is handcrafted now in North America and Canada. And like he mentioned, furniture-grade real wood veneers, black oak, and English walnut in the Mark II collection. The model collection with the Model 3 and the Model 5 are available in Nordic Noir, which is a matte black,
Fancier words than me.
English walnut, and the West African mahogany. And one point that I'd like to point out as far as the customization and the attention to detail in the engineering, in the model collection, KLH offers an acoustic contour switch, which allows you to tune the speaker to your actual room characteristics, such as if you have a lot of hard surfaces that are reflective, you can actually take all frequencies above 400 hertz, which are very directional and reflective, and actually knock them down in 1.5 dB increments to match your room. That's an acoustic contour switch that was available on the original model collection that Henry Close launched in the early 60s. So,
the back, which is cool.
Yep, thanks for pointing out. So, furniture grade quality, legally harvested real wood veneers. And so, once again, glad to be at Theater Vice. Come on and listen to what Dave and his crew have to offer y'all.
We appreciate it, guys. Thanks for subscribing and all the support, and hope to see you more. Thanks.
Enjoy your music.